Hi, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is April 22nd. We're going to start today's episode with news of a new reward system. After that, we're going to talk about a new rewards website that Chris Mariano's updated. We're going to be talking a whole lot about airdrops and a lot more than that as well. So stay tuned and we'll get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Okay, hi. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the new rewards tree system that Joe has proposed. It says, "Behold, I present to thee a humble proposal for a new rewards system, now with 100% more RPIP flavor," and then there's a link to an RPIP draft. It says, hopefully I did that right. I got to make a forum post to go with it. So the Sneaky says, we're on version 10 already. Did version 9 already happen? And Joe replied by saying, Patches has a version 9. I didn't want to step on his toes. And you'd know that if you read it. So then the discussion started, but let's actually go and have a look at the RPIP and see what's going on over here. So this is for rewards tree 10. And the description is, adjust the rewards file to account for Houston changes, generalizing rewards from nodes to claimers, and supporting the RPL withdrawal address. So the authors of this are Joe and Patches. And then there's a discussion link for the forum, and then there's review status right now, and it's a protocol update, and it was created on April 19th. So here we have the abstract. It says the incoming Houston upgrade introduces RPIP 31, the RPL withdrawal address. Unfortunately, node operators using this new feature are no longer able to claim rewards if they have an RPL RPL withdrawal address. Only the RPL withdrawal address is able to claim their rewards. This includes both RPL and smoothing pool ETH rewards. The RPIP proposes to generalize the rewards tree, changing nodes to claimers. The tree will now specify the amount of RPL and smoothing pool ETH available to individual claimers where, if a node does not have an RPL withdrawal address set, their node address is the claimer address, same as today. If a node does have an RPL withdrawal address set, the node's rewards will be split in two. One claimer will be the node's primary withdrawal address, which will have the node's ETH portion of the rewards. The other will be the node's RPL withdrawal address, which will have the node's RPL portion of the rewards. The node itself will no longer appear in the rewards tree. And then Joe goes on to say, they go on to say, this will improve rewards claiming user experience, remove some inconsistencies between the existing rule set and this new feature, and makes the reward system more attractive to users that would leverage RPL withdrawal addresses and will not adversely impact nodes that do not use it. This does not require a contract change. Ironically, it's more in line with how the contracts behave in Houston and can be implemented at any time, even before Houston has launched if relevant. The spec handles what to do if it hasn't been deployed yet. Reward spec 9 is required for this proposal as it builds on top of number 9. So then there's a motivation that you can go and read and important clarifications, the specifications, file structure changes, calculation changes, the rationales, and also reference implementations. So this actually stirred quite a bit of discussion in the Rocket Pool Discord, and there was a lot of questions back and forth, a lot of discussion. Noshua was involved, Patches was involved, Joe of course was involved. I think Val was involved for part of it, but not that much. There were a whole lot of questions, so I'll leave those up to you to go and dig into them. But let's go and have a look at the forums. So we'll start with RPIP 9 before we go to RPIP 10. So here is, not RPIP, the rewards tree 9. And then we'll have a quick look at this before we move on forwards and explore the ideas a little bit more. So Patches says, I'd like to kick off the discussion with rewards tree spec 9. I'd like to see the following changes. So changes specification, so enable Merkle tree file format must be fully specified. It should be a binary format. It should no longer contain the CID of the minipool performance file. The motivation is that enables the ODAO to run alternative treegen implementations, remove the need for compression, which currently ties the resulting CIDs, which are part of the consensus for two specific versions of the specific compression libraries used in the smart node, and make performance file generation optional simply reduces specification work. So then Patches goes on, gives a little bit more rationale for that, and then the process changes were described as well. Ramana replied by saying, I fully support this. And then Patches created a proof of concept and then a draft of the specification as well. And then Joe commented saying that he's been reviewing it with Patches, and otherwise he says he finishes by saying, otherwise it seems good to me. I say ship it. And this was 3 days ago. And Patches says the RPIP is ready for draft as well. So that's link number 4. Link gives the information there, and that's been clicked on 4 times. And then we go to rewards tree 10. So here Joe says, it's been a while since we've had some rewards tree changes, but new network upgrades tend to bring them. And this time we have 2. There's version 9 from Patches, version 10 from Joe. Luckily, they aren't mutually exclusive. They can come in either order, or one or both can be ratified without issue. I'm calling this version 10 out of respect because his came first, and I'm assuming it's going to go through. Anyway, unlike past updates where I dump all the proposed contents into one of these, I wrote a proper RPIP this time for your consideration. And we, of course, just had a look at the RPIP. So then he says that the full details are there, so you can go and have a look at that. And then there were some comments here from Joe and Patches. And Dark Message replied by saying that he was confused about something, about some information there. And then Joe gave a clarification answer as well. And then here we've got the RPIP 53. Then there's the Merkle tree spec. So it says specification for the Merkle tree, rewards Merkle tree, and then there's some information there as well that you can go and read. What ended up happening was, like I said, there was a big discussion that kind of like they were trying to figure out different permutations and stuff. So here we had an update from Joe then yesterday saying he did a quick clarification update because noted that version 10 can be enacted before Houston. It just won't do anything different from version 8 or 9 because the RPL withdrawal address will always be unset. And then there was an issue from Noshua. It says, since it looks like he hasn't posted, hey Noshua, since it looks like he hasn't posted this, Patches as a workaround to the version 10 issue that you highlighted. So then there was like some issue that Noshua found, and Patches has a workaround for it. So Patches says, in summary, if the RPL withdrawal address is set and the primary withdrawal address is not the node address, then key under the withdrawal address. In all of the cases, key under the node address. This is fixes the Noshua lockout. So it says it introduces extra logic to the spec, but it doesn't make things strictly worse. So that is quite basically as technical as it gets in Rocket Pool land. So if that is something that you're interested in digging into more, you're welcome to follow the links that I've shared, and you can ask questions, I guess, of Joe in trading, but most likely in governance. So you can ask questions that you have and get some clarification on those if you choose to. Okay, last week I gave an update about, I shared some information about Chris Mariano sharing a new rewards website that he made, and he has made updates to that. So he says, hey folks, I updated my app and unwound some of the loops to prevent throttling. Still more to do, but I think it will render results for nodes up to 25 mini pools. And then there's a link to the website. He says, give it a try and let me know if things still break. The whole app is now serialized, so it's super slow. I'll speed things up once I have more confidence in the logic and the calculations. So if you have a look at the website now, it still looks kind of similar to what I shared to you all about the front end the other day, but now on the back end, some of the things have been cleaned up, so it can start to work a little bit better than it was before. So you can use more mini pools, you can get more information. It's a little bit slow, but it's usable, I guess, in that sense. So thank you, Chris, and please let us know if you have more updates about this website. Okay, next we're going to be talking about a couple of airdrop things. So first, here we had this thing from Gota, who was trying to claim the Omni airdrop last week, and he finally found out why he wasn't eligible. It was because his node had been compromised, and the hackers who had taken control of his node were also claimed the Omni airdrop on his behalf and then stole it. So that's horrible. I'm so sorry for Gota, but please remember, like, keep your keys safe, keep them offline, ideally, like written down on steel or in a hardware wallet or even on a piece of paper. The thing that you don't want to happen is for your node keys to get compromised. The damage that can be done with your node keys being compromised isn't too bad. and because as long as your withdrawal address is not compromised, then you'll still be able to get your RPL and ETH out. However, with this issue, if your node is compromised and you get like a third-party token, then that can be sent to an arbitrary address, which is kind of horrible. So sorry about that, Gota. And still sticking with the topic of airdrops here, Ken talked to the Rated team, and Rated are one of the teams that are managing like a list of solo stakers. And he says, any thoughts from the community, such as Val or Halulu? This is as to how we can assist in finding a better algorithm to achieve a home staking inclusion list for home validators with Rocket Pool. So basically, he went to the Rated Discord and he asked them, like, there's some issues with your list and people are using your list and people are missing out because of it. So they said, thanks for looping back in here. The way to flag possible inaccuracies to open the issue in the GitHub repo, and the list lives here. And then there's a link to their GitHub repo. Says, please note that according to the stated objective function of the classifiers, folks that run with all nodes or other white label providers are not included in the list. Also, we've done the work only for up to index 500,000. By definition, solos with higher indices are not included without being privy to details. Rocket Pool stakers, my best guess is why it might be hit or miss is that they have filtered Rocket Pool stakers that are at the last run of the model running with a white label provider. Do you mention it's home stakers though, so it's unclear. The list is open source, as you know. We'd be thrilled for folks to fork it, remix it, improve it, and so on. In the ideal world with infinite resources, we'd love to have the necessary resources available to continuously update it. Alas, it competes for attention with other priorities the team is working towards delivering. We have no financial upsides in said airdrops. None of the teams that organize those have been in touch with us about designing an airdrop for solo stakers. So I am struggling to see how we have or should have any agency here, given that we always have very clear about the parameters that describe the list. It's squarely their responsibility. So they're saying, hey, we just provided the list. If you guys want to fix it or make changes to it, submit a ticket. But otherwise, like, it's out of our control. Okay, next I've got news of a couple of POAPs. So one of them that I talked about on the show on Friday was Pat's 50th episode POAP. So this one is available, and the purchases of this will go towards the raffle. The 23 POAPs have already been sold. You can mint them Arbitrum, Optimism, or Base. And like I said, anyone who buys a POAP will be entered into a raffle, and the chance is winning, the prize is winning the full pot, basically. So at the moment that stands at over $100. So it's not too bad. Yeah, if you want to try that out. And then there's news of another POAP here as well. And this one is from Shifrin, and this is for Halulu. So what happened is Halulu, actually, let me just read the description from the POAP. So it says, on April 17th, numerous Rocket Pool node operators discovered their eligibility for the Omni airdrop thanks to Halulu's assistance. Though Halulu himself wasn't eligible for the airdrop, the Rocket Pool community deeply appreciates his invaluable support. All proceeds of this POAP go directly to Halulu. So that's what it is. So this one's actually a little bit more expensive. It's about $10. And 27 of these POAPs have been sold. So if you got the Omni airdrop, and if you got any kind of support from Halulu in the airdrop channel or elsewhere, then it kind of, I think, behooves you to pay for this and get some money to Hal. Or Halo, Halulu, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, but this is a really nice way of support. Like, let me just give shout out to some of the people who've already bought it. So let's see if I recognize any of these ENSs. Barlin.eth, Nixo bought it. And then Fornax, Woe, Mentz, Wooden Ship, Van Gogh, Lol Clark, James Conley. He's got 1,000 POAPs now. That's amazing. Shufro, that's Patches. Genux, Superfizz, me, Shifrin, I don't think he paid for it though, Lee, and Shrimploff. So a whole bunch of people that, we recognize. And sorry if I didn't say your name, I'm just reading out the ones that really jumped out at me for people who I know. But yeah, thank you for buying the POAP. Like I said, if you needed any help with the Omni airdrop and Halulu was one of those to help you, I think it's kind of nice to just, buy the POAP and throw $10 his way. Just as a way of saying thanks. So yeah, get on that. Okay, next we're going to be talking about some other protocols. So here we have Gravita, who have an update. So they're saying that Gravita is getting back to their peg, and that's what they're working on. But I'm not just covering that. There's actually like news of Gravita's airdrop that they've talked about for the first time, really. So they said we have decided to introduce in the next 3 to 4 months a simpler version of our governance token, which will be distributed to early participants. As part of our phased approach, the initial rollout will feature a linear design with added functionality coming in the next months. So this is Gravita's way of saying we're going to have an airdrop in a few months' time for our early users. I'm not sure what their criteria will be, but you can check that out. And I know a whole lot of people use Gravita because I gave them a lot of coverage on Rocket Fuel. I know some of you all had really bad experiences with using Gravita because of getting redeemed against. But hopefully, this airdrop might go some way towards making you whole if you had losses because of that. Okay, last week we had an update about Lido's DVT module coming live. Well, we got news on the 20th that this is now actually live and it's out in the wild. So here Dimitri had the screenshot saying simple DVT, data is current, and they had operator clusters 12, active keys 60. So they're ready and they're going. So that happened from there. And then this one from Kimon said the first Lido simple DVT validators were just deposited to. Huge congrats to all OBOL network participants, and it gets better. SSV participants are expected to be proposed to the DAO in the next couple of weeks. Solo stakers using Lido are here. So here you've got information. So they've got the same kind of dashboard as well with their information. So if you're interested in that, you can follow the tweets to see if you can find more information. But they've gone live. Okay, in Friday's episode, we talked about Bitcoin halving. Well, Bitcoin halved. As expected, there wasn't any drama around it. It was just a code that was, automatically known beforehand. Every 840,000 blocks, there is a change in the issuance, and Bitcoin halves its rewards. So that has taken place. The idea now is that in the next few weeks or maybe a couple of months, the alts will bottom against Bitcoin, and then hopefully like the altcoin bull market will start in earnest, and we'll be able to claw back some of those losses to Bitcoin dominance. So we'll see how that goes. Trading, of course, was talking about it for quite a long time. Yeah, Albert says it halved, we did it, and then a whole bunch of people were saying like happy halving, and are we rich now? Not quite yet. So Albert actually runs a Bitcoin node, so he says I halved this. So yeah, that's cool stuff. Okay, next Joe shared this news of Val having an infection, and he says blah, Val has an ear infection, and then he clarified by saying not that Val, my daughter. So yeah, Val then said I'm honored / creeped out. And then he says, to assuage you, her name is Valerie, not Valdov. Although if you ask her, her name is Fluffy Flufferton. But also, I think Valerie is older than when Val actually joined the Discord. So there was some prescience from Joe in naming his daughter there. But anyway, I hope she gets well soon. Sending best wishes to Val. So on that note, thank you everyone for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you all had lovely weekends. Bye.